Guys, this is Superlite V2 Part 3. This time, we're going to get into the suspension. Take a look. We're going to get right into this, and here are the stock links, all set up for 4-link, 3.2 ounces. And the reason I'm weighing those in, because I have some D-links, Delrin. Now, I may have to make a slight adjustment to these because of the 4-link versus the panhard that they're set up for. 2.7 ounces. So let's go ahead and get this. All right, so now we are 0.4 ounces heavier with the stock links versus the Delrins. So the Delrins are going on. It is time for the rear D-links. On the chassis, I've got the shock mounts put on. I've got a printed bumper, just like the red one that's on Superlite 1. Got the rear on and the rear chassis bumper right there. So far, it's looking good. We'll just have to see how the rear suspension arms go on. It should simply go on, and then I can get that rear axle actually underneath this thing. All right, guys, I went ahead and put the front links on as well. So, yeah, now we get to actually put the axle in place. And then once I get the rear axle in place, I'll show you guys that. Then we get to work on the front, because the front gets the servo mount on the axle itself. This is the steering pieces right here. This right here goes to the top bolt, and then the longer bolt goes right through all of it to tie everything together. On the Superlite SV1, it's a little bit different setup. It actually bolts together right there. So this particular one is a bit different, and I won't have that down at the bottom to catch stuff. So that's a good thing. With these bolted on right here, you can see the plate actually just bolts right down. Now also, you can actually move the actual servo tabs forward or back. Right now I've got them in the back position. Not sure if they'll stay there once I actually get the servo mounted up, but this is actually a really good design. And then you have a really long bolt somewhere around here. That thing right there, which goes through all of that. Well, I like this design. I really do. Making progress here. Now, the rear suspension is on, and it looks kind of okay, but that pinion is down. I have two options. Either I can shorten this up by like 1 millimeter, and it'll actually bring that pinion up. It'll also shorten the wheelbase. So I could do that, or I could add a spacer to the top. But if you go adding spacers, well, now you're adding more weight. Decisions. The front end looks good. Steering fits up in there beautifully, so definitely got that going for me. I think now we're going to get the shocks on this thing. Shocks went on pretty darn smoothly. Got to give it that. But man, and I know that I don't have the weight of everything on here, but there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot. And they are really stiff. Really stiff. And I'm not going to use any metal body shocks. Just don't need those. Superlite version 1 did fine on that, so no issues there. Wow. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and move along here. And let's go ahead and put the steering link on and see how that fits up. The steering pieces are on, and if you're wondering why I made this a point to actually do this part of the video, this is why right here. See that slight bend I put in it? Let me get this set up a little bit better here. Look at the turn. Got a pretty good bit of turn on this. That little bit of a bend got it around the diff cover. And still have a tiny little bit of room to move. So with that, I can now get into the servo. The servo I'm using is this right here. Yes, you can convert this into a servo from the winch. The reason I did this is because it's kind of a low profile. It doesn't add a whole lot of weight. And you know what? It's a very solid, strong servo. On Superlite SV1, I just run the 35 kg from Amazon, and it's held up great. But this is a little bit different vehicle from SV1. So this is going on the front right there. It's only on 6 volts right now. As you guys can see, everything works perfectly fine. In the description is a link to Reefs RC. He has a YouTube channel and he shows the actual process of changing this over. Super simple. And you can always change it back if you want. Well, let's see what it's got. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah. Let me get this thing stood up and we'll get an angle shot. Here we go. That's nice. The tires are all the way into the links. That's good. I like it. So here it sits, way too tall. Absolutely got to get this thing down about like that. Yeah, somewhere around like that for sure. As far as the overall weight goes, still really darn light. Let's go ahead and set this body on here. I don't know. I may have to save this body for something else. Let's try something else. That looks more like it. That looks more like it for sure. Yeah, I mean, the body's got to go forward just a little bit more. Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to go back with a creep body. To figure something out with this. And I actually have an idea. And that body would probably work pretty darn well for it. But it's absolutely not the Superlite. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to have to go back to another creep body. With the body and motor and ESC, receiver, battery, still don't have the pinion gear, some tiny little things like that. It's starting to get heavy. Just over 3.5 pounds. Ooh. You know what? It's just something we're going to have to deal with. I wanted to get this at 3 pounds even, but that just doesn't seem to happen. Does not seem like it's going to happen. So guys, it's getting a little bit porky. It's getting a little bit porky for sure. Up next, I'm actually going to get the ESC soldered up, get the motor put in. Hopefully I soldered up the correct way, and get the BEC on it, and hopefully we'll actually be able to get it driving. I got thinking about it. I don't even have the drive shafts in this thing yet, so that's even more weight. Yeah, but regardless, it's at least a pound lighter than Superlite SV1. So I got my hopes up. I think this thing's gonna be awesome. So if it's a pound lighter, I mean really, if it's a pound lighter, but it has dig and it has a better forward bias, will that make it better than SV1? Don't know yet. Something we're gonna have to find out. I do have a spare creep body. Of course I've got a spare creep body. Don't you guys know that by now? I always keep one of these things in stock. Now I got to order one to replace this. But regardless, I think I'm going to have to go with this body just because of the overhangs on it. Now, the other body, I've been wanting to kind of change up my mud truck a little bit. I may end up doing something with that because I've got another one of these 4mm thick chassis, carbon chassis. Kind of want to take some weight off of that thing. But regardless, guys, it's coming along. Sorry it's taking so long, but busy. You know, in that description, I will put links to everything on the SV2, AMain, eBay, Amazon, and Horizon. There are affiliate links. They help out the channel quite a bit. And if you're trying to follow along with this build, trying to do it yourself, well, the body change. Things kind of happen sometimes.
But anyway, guys, check that description. Use those links. Make sure you're subscribed. And thank you all for watching.
Guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. So, in the description, there's a link to become a channel member. If you want to become a channel member, it's a very simple $2, $5, $10, or if you really got some money, $25 a month. It's a simple way to support the channel. So, get that, and I am doing monthly giveaways for members only, so you might want to consider it. So, guys, use those links. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you all for watching.